this is a lot of food waste, obviously. That a lot of stuff that we waste every year.
Yeah, to put it simply.
Yeah.
So, the U.S. wastes at least 133 billion pounds of food every year. And that's equivalent to 147,000 airplanes. And that's even more people than there are in Lawrence. So we waste an insane amount of food every year.
Why is composting important? And that's because it enhances, for plant growth, it enhances germination and plant growth and crop yield. It improves root growth and structure, and enriches the soil with microorganisms. And environmental, why it's important for the environment is it helps to close the metabolic gap through recycling waste on site, and large systems often use temperature control and mechanized harvesting. However, other equipment is simple and does not wear out quickly, and production reduces greenhouse gases emissions such as methane and nitric oxide produced in landfills or incinerators when not composted or through methane harvest.
Vermicomposting is a process that relies on earthworms and microorganisms to help stabilize active organic materials and convert them to all valuable soil, admit and source of plant nutrients.
So, how do you build and upkeep your bin? So basically, you could start a worm composting bin whenever you want to, and it can be a plastic bin, a wood bin, or a glass bin, and it can be whatever size you want it. We started ours 2 weeks ago, and we put about a pound of worms in there. And then obviously the worms they're going to be more and more worms because they're going to have babies. And so we put about like a pound of food in every day into each of the bins. We have 2 of them. And so all you need for your bin is whatever kind of size bin you want. You can pick whatever you want. And then we put newspaper for bedding in ours. And you just have to make sure that their environment isn't too moist or too dry. So if you want to make it more moist, we suggest that you use like a spray bottle, like a squirt bottle, so you don't have to like pour water in there and get it too wet and stuff. So that's what we do every day. So the best worms to use are called red wigglers, and that's because they can eat half their weight in a day. So if you could imagine eating half your weight in a day, you'd have to eat so much food. So they basically just eat food all day, and then what creates the soil is actually their poop, because they just constantly eat. So yeah.
Food that you should feed them is fruits and vegetable scraps is mostly what we use because it came right from the cafeteria, so we usually just use the salad bar scraps. But coffee grounds work, filters, tea bags, and eggshells. They also eat their own carbohydrate-rich bedding. Newspaper is the best for this. And what should you not feed them? Stuff that spoils quickly, like dairy products, meats, and including fish and oily products like chips or French fries. And grains, crackers, and bread and rice usually don't work, but we did use bread one time. And it wasn't horrible, but it did smell really bad. So.
We found out that our worms typically like fruit the best because it definitely disappeared the quickest every day.
Do you think it's because that decomposes better than some of the other stuff?
Yeah, I think it probably has something to do with it.
Yeah. And how often do you feel? We fed it. Every day we put about a pound in, and obviously if you're doing 3.5 pounds every week, we were only there for 4 days, so that's about right. And yeah.
Okay.
So where do you keep your bin? You can keep your bin. So like the first day that we had them, we came back to school and there were some worms that got out and that were dead in the classroom all around it, because if they don't feel that their conditions are right for them, like if it's too dry or if it's too moist, then they're going to try to escape that habitat. So that could be a downside if you don't compost.
The pros of vermicomposting, and it tends to be somewhat less labor intensive. So I mean, if you're just leaving your worms there every day and you don't have to do much except feed them. And then cooler temperatures help to conserve nitrogen, and higher moisture content is not an issue, and it's preferred. And materials can be consistently added, and like food every day. And the size of the system is unimportant, so you can have a bin like we do down here that we'll show you in a second. So you can have it really big or you can have it smaller. And considerable academic evidence to indicate that vermicompost have beneficial properties not found in hot compost. And under ideal conditions, waste can be produced very quickly. Like it is for our bin.
And then these are some pictures of our bins over the past few weeks. And I think they all look relatively the same, just because we added food right before. But the worms definitely went through a ton of food, and we got all of our food from our cafeteria. And we kind of have like a system going with the lunch ladies, or the lunch workers, I should say. Sorry.
So yeah, the people that work in the lunchroom, 2 of them I guess are like super excited about it. So they're taking 2 of the bins home with them this summer, and they're going to use them until the school year starts back up. So that's really awesome and good for the environment and everything. And so yeah, do you guys want to see the worms?
Would there be a noticeable difference, like when you came in the morning, like the level of
Yes.
it, like
Yeah.
after you put it in?
Yes, we have
Yeah.
some, but it's kind of hard. I think we should.
Yeah, you'd be really surprised actually.
Yeah, how quick.
How quickly it's processed. You guys can come around here if you want.
You guys want to do an organized, maybe half? Let's
you
go.
guys
Yeah,
are-
let's
you guys
go
aren't the
evens.
first
Why don't you head
Yeah.
up first? Evens. go on
It
up
smells
there.
really bad.
Yep.
It's not that bad.
Okay. Well, this isn't the time.
Okay, so
When we're
you
done
kind
with
of
this,
see
then you may.
the worms just.
That's a lot of worms. They're so cute. Ew. It looks like little spaghetti noodles. I know.
It's a lot of worms, huh?
And they'll just.
Yeah, and they just eat all the food really fast.
And it didn't look like this yesterday, but all since composting in the soil out from them, so it smells really bad.
Okay. Do you want to head up for a second? What's the spigot for?
Oh, so that's like